Hey guys, Jeff at Hubie's Garage, and it's been a little bit since I've done or got a video out and done an update. So just wanted to kind of show everybody what's going on, what the latest happenings are here in the garage. I have been kind of tied up with some family stuff. We did a family vacation, and we went ahead and been doing some work around the house, just kind of getting things in order and doing some repairs. So the car's been kind of on the back burner, and I've also run into some issues with tools for the car, in which I haven't been able to get work done on the car that I want to because the tools that I have aren't the proper tools. So I've been working that issue out, and I'm going to go ahead and go over with you guys some of the issues that I've run into. Also, been doing a little bit of work on the daily driver and keeping that thing on the road, and a lot of that stuff's pretty boring. You know, you don't want to see me do a brake job on the Suburban. I did get through the brake job successfully this time, for those of you that saw my last one. But anyway, yeah, and I ran across some issues with that too that I wanted to share with you. So we'll get into some of the tools, and we'll get into some of the parts. So the big hang up with the 55 right now, the Bel Air two-door sedan, my street car, is that I've been having problems with the brake lines. And I bought a pre-bent stainless steel brake line kit. And I did have updated tools. I had the real nice handheld double flare kit from Speedway, which I do like this. This is nice. You can actually get into tight spaces and do them while they're on the car, which is helpful. And then I bought a new double flare kit from Summit, and this is the kit. Problem originated when I tried to duplicate this kit here that my son had. He had real good luck with it. It was a real nice kit, and when he bought the kit, it came with the 45-degree dies, and then what he ended up doing was he paid extra and got the 37-degree for the AN fittings and for the annealed stainless double flares. So that was an extra that he paid for. When I found this kit, it had the two heads included, and it was about $50 to $100 cheaper because the kit was combined, and here I thought I was getting a deal. Well, this isn't the same kit. What I think happened is, did a little bit of research, and obviously K-Tool is a USA-made company. They're a company in Michigan. They have a warranty, real stout company. I mean, here's their warranty right here. Here's their address. If you have any problems, they have a website. They have a phone number. They tell you what to do in case something's wrong. And it pretty much sounds like they're going to go ahead and replace the kit with any problems that it might have, with the exception of you void the warranty if you use this as a rental unit, which I can understand that. But K-Tool is a good, solid USA company, still apparently by their website and looking up Google, still made in USA, a quality tool. This one, you can see the instructions for the K-Tool. This is the instructions for the one that I bought from Summit. So this is a very generic, not very well thought out instruction manual. And when you get to the back, there's no company name, no frequently asked questions, no troubleshooting, no contact, no website, no warranty, nothing. And they also threw in this really nice, basically something to just clean out the ends of your tubing, to cut off the rough edges of your tubing before you make the flare. And that's a real nice unit right here, this blue handle and the different cutters. My son used that, and he said that that was better than anything that he had. His kit didn't come with one. So I think that's part of the perks that Summit did with this kit in giving you the additional giving you the additional 37-degree head, as well as giving you that deal to clean out the ends of your tubing. So here's what I think happened. I think that whoever this is made by, which I still cannot find out who it's made by, Summit put their name on it. I think what happened is this is the result of a company in China copying the K-Tool, making their own version in China and selling it for cheaper. And the problem is like anything else, the quality is just in the toilet, and it did not work. Because every time I put the dies in the clamp on the vise on the workbench, and you would go to pull this arm to make your actual flared end, it basically would take the brake line and push it right through the die. And that was a serious problem because I couldn't even make a flare with it. I tried with the steel lines, I tried with the PVFs, and I tried with stainless, and it just did not work. You probably ask, okay, well, why didn't you just, all this time that you've been held up with the 55 and not been able to do the brake lines, why didn't you just grab your kids? Well, the kid he's a good kid, and he's got a lot of good car buddies, and he basically sent this kit with his friend who lives up in Northern California. He sent him home with his kit because he's got a lot of off-road rock crawler stuff that he does, and he had a bunch of stuff he was doing on some rear end changes and whatnot. So the K-Tool kit, the good kit that my son owns here, it went up to Northern California, and kind of a problem for the garage because, we thought with the handheld one that I have here and with this kit right here that we'd be okay. And, then we ran into problems because my son ended up doing a hydraulic, he had a clutch failure in his Nova. So he ended up doing a hydraulic, he did a hydraulic clutch for his Nova, and he ended up having to change some brake lines around, and he grabbed my kit, tried to use it, and had the same exact results that I did. He put the pressure to it with the handle, and the brake lines pushed right through the dies because these are not good clear. The specs on these dies are terrible. They're poor quality, poorly made, and they won't grip the brake line. We did everything we could possibly do. I tried it and he tried it, and I think he got one flare out of it. This is the main stainless line that goes to the rear axle, and this is the best double flare that I could get on this. I don't know how well you could see that. One of the other issues is this line, I did have to cut the line, and the little midget cutters that they give you in this kit are some very, very cheaply made, really bad blade. They're just not good. And I was a plumber for a couple years, and this was a company that we used in plumbing. I mean, Rigid was just a top-notch company. We used this for all of our copper lines and used this, and it was a lot better, but it did have a worn-out blade. And one of the things that they say with stainless is that you could actually, just by running it around and running that cutter around the stainless, that you could actually go through a hardening process of the stainless and make it harder. I don't know if this is annealed stainless or not. It does not say in the pre-bent kits that they sell. I went through Right Stuff, and I was not real happy with them. But I think doing it over, I'm probably going to end up making and bending my own brake line kits. But again, this kit is done for. I'm not using it. And let me tell you how I was able to get Summit to take this back and give me credit on this, because this is another issue. I bought this thing about 3 months ago, and it was some time before I used it. And then when I finally started using it, I started thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm not doing it right. And then I had my son use it. He had the same results. And after all that time had elapsed, it was about 3 months. So I decided at that point, it's time to do an honest review. So I went on summit.com, did a review on the brake line, the flare kit, and basically wrote a pretty scathing review about how I had spent $250 on this kit thinking it was going to be a good kit that would last a lifetime. And I have, at this point, I've yet to be able to make one double flare with this kit. It's totally worthless. And I basically threw away my $250. I didn't use anything as far as my name or the channel name. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go there. That's not the type of person I am. I don't want to, use you guys to be able to get what I need in life. And, it's really, it's a good testament to Summit. And what happened is after I placed the review, I was contacted by them via email, and they offered to send me a return label and offer me full credit on this kit, even though it was outside of, I don't know if they have a 60 or 90 day. They didn't even question the return time. They just said, we'd like you to send this back if you're not happy with it, and we'll give you full credit. So what I did in that meantime was my son texted me the part numbers based on his prior Summit orders, because he did buy this K-tool from Summit also. And now I have the proper part number on Summit's catalog to buy this, as well as I do have the additional 37 degree die kit that they added to this one. Now, to be a little bit more money, but after all the pain and agony that I went through with this one, and the waste of time, and the fact that I could have been driving the car, it's going to be way worth all the extra money to do that. So let's look at the prices. I'll show you what I went through with this. So that one's for this one. That one's for this one. This is the Summit part number for the inferior kit that I bought. So it was actually $250, because I think they've been lowering the price, because they've got 2 bad reviews on this thing now, and you could see it's got 2 reviews with 1 star. 1 star for me is too much. I wished I could have given it 0 stars, but it is what it is. And everything's included in this, and it throws in a couple extra perks. Like I say, the tubing cutter at the very end to clean out your flares, or clean out the tubing after you've made the cut. But this was what one guy had put, that was very cheaply made, poor quality, would produce only 1 in 3 attempts at doing a flare, and that was with the standard steel. I just wrote simple or cheaply made, won't make a simple flare, and that I was not happy with the process, and in fact I wasn't even able to use the flare kit. So based on that, I got the call from, or the email from Summit, and I now have a return label, and this is going to go back. I will take the $250 credit and apply that to the K-tool, and you could see, gee, the K-tool is the same price. It is, however, missing the 37 degree die kit and flare head. So I'll apply my $250 from here to this one, and then I'll pay the extra $87.29 and get the 37 degree kit. So that's that. Moving on. Now, the reason that I was so committed to stainless was because of the fact that my old brake line, the old steel brake line, the car sat for 20 years, and it had standard .3 brake fluid in it, and it basically, everything rusted. Now, if you look inside the end of the brake tube, you can see the occlusion. I mean, it looks like, arteries have just been absolutely occluded, and that's all rust. And it was in those lines, and that's not the way you want your drum brake system to work. That's not optimal. So I wanted to go to stainless, and I wanted to switch over to .5 fluid. Here's the next big issue I ran into, guys. I was doing a oil change on the daily. I was doing oil change on the 2008 Yukon Denali that we have, the XL. And, I typically, when I place an order with Rock Auto, especially for the daily stuff that I could keep on the shelf so that I don't have to wait for parts, I try to keep my shelves stocked with some of the stuff that I use regularly. One of those items that I try to keep is the Wix oil filters. Used to use Fram years ago, but I'd gotten out of the cars for a while, and we did some other things, life, marriage, kids, junior drag racing, that kind of stuff. And, things had changed. The supply chains changed. The companies changed. Some companies got bought out by corporations or LLCs. Quality went down. That that's just life and the way that it goes. The one thing that I did find out is that Wix has been a really good, or has kind of risen from it all, and they've been the really good company to deal with. This is one of the better oil filters that's on the market, and I've been pretty happy with them so far. Much better made than the old paper Fram filters that we used to deal with in the past. So the issue here is that I had already bought a Wix oil filter for the Denali and didn't know I had it. So driving home, I'm like, well, I got to do an oil change. I got to get the thing ready. I'll just stop at O'Reilly's and pick up a Wix, and I'll pick up some motor oil, which the motor oil was another problem. But as far as the Wix filter, I went ahead and got my normal part number for the Denali. It's an LS style motor. It's 6.2 liter. I did look before I pulled it out of the box, and it did say made in Mexico. Now, I did notice that this one was made in Mexico also. It's basically the same filter. There's no difference about it. The filters were both made in Mexico, and you know, they're not made at different plants. They were made in the same place. The price that I paid for this filter at O'Reilly's was $12.99. So out the door, I paid $14 with sales tax, because we're California and we're the highest sales tax. We're 9.25% percent sales tax, I believe. And I went back, and I as I was driving home, I thought, gosh, you know, I think I might have one. I think my last Rock Auto order, I bought an oil filter. And sure enough, I bought a pair of brake pads for the Denali, and I figured, oh, I'll have them throw in an oil filter. Well, look at the price each of what I paid for that oil filter, $4.81. Now, this was back in January, so there wasn't a major, huge jump in prices for them to jump from $4.81 at Rock Auto to go to $12.99 at O'Reilly's. Now, I do like O'Reilly's. I wished I had one in town. I don't. I have an AutoZone, and I have a Napa, which brings another point. I was on YouTube, and I did see that somebody announced that the Napa Gold filters that they sell, because this was another way to get a Wix filter, was to buy a Napa Gold. Now, I have not confirmed this, but they stated that Wix no longer makes the Napa Gold filter. So you're pretty much, if you want to get a Wix, O'Reilly's is the place to go. But if you know, like for your daily, for your hot rod, whatever it is, and you're doing oil changes and you need to keep a filter on the shelf, to me, this is a no-brainer. $4.81. You know, you could buy 3 of these darn near and still be right at, or, well, it's right at the same cost of what you would have paid for one at O'Reilly's. So big difference here. I would stick with Rock Auto. If you know the part number at Rock Auto, then you should be fine. It'll work great. All right, guys, so before I was able to put this video or get this video out, I was able to reach a resolution with Summit. So I went ahead and packaged up the Chinese flare kit and sent that back. I sent that back late Thursday night. That was May 16th. And I got a notice, I believe it was Tuesday, that they had received it and that they were already crediting my account and sending me the K-Tool. So was told it was going to be here on Friday, May 24th, which is today. And here is the item. It came in the mail, so let's check it out and see what they did. So let's see. All right, there's my shipping invoice. I know they didn't charge me. And yes, this is the K-Tool kit. Should be the same. It's the same kit as what the kid has. Let's just go ahead and open it up. Take a look at it and make sure. Okay, we'll see what this one looks like.
And yes, it is the same kit as what my son had. Looks like it got jostled around in shipping. And it looks like the only thing that I need to do to make it just like my son's is to get the 37 degree head with the 37 degree dies, because this one just has the 45s. So I'll go ahead and get that ordered and we'll be ready to go. But Summit came through, so I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, good move. I didn't even have to ask them to send me this. They apparently knew that I wanted the K-tool. Maybe it was through my review of the tool. But yeah, they went ahead and took the Chinese-made flare kit back and sent me the K-tool. So kudos to Summit. I'm thankful. They're a good company, and they're true to their word. They're making sure that you are happy, and they are taking care of their customers. So thank you, Summit. And one more side note, I just found out that the K-tool states that it is made in Taiwan. So, well, I guess it's built to K-tool specs, and they must have a better plant in Taiwan. But it's obvious that Chinese knockoff was not a good quality tool. K-tool is, this one's a much better setup, and we will be making double flares just like what it's showing here, and not what we were making or not making with the Chinese version.
All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much all I got. Not really a gripe session or a complaint or anything, but just more of just kind of a heads up or a watch out, because this is the industry that we're in right now, and this is what they're doing right now to us, and we got to watch out for that stuff. Good, hardworking companies here in the USA, they have products that get copied, and we're having to deal with overseas competition, and a lot of that stuff, as we all know, it's all going overseas. And this was a situation where even the overseas stuff was so bad that I couldn't even make it work. And that's why I needed to make sure that you guys know about this stuff. I don't know how many of you guys have looked at that brake flare kit, but there definitely are options, and I hope that you guys got the part number for the right one if you're looking to buy one. And again, Rock Auto, I've heard a couple people talk about Parts Geek, but I don't get kickbacks for anything from anybody, and that's something that I feel like the channel will be compromised if I ever do that. So but Rock Auto has been one of those go-tos for me. They do actually have some Tri-5 stuff that I can order online. The one thing that I have really liked and appreciated about Rock Auto is they don't have a lot of frills. They don't have a lot of overhead. If you know part numbers, you can go directly and order the part number direct. If you need human intervention, it's a little difficult. If you need to do returns, it's a little difficult. But as far as prices, they're pretty darn rock bottom. I don't think you'll find anybody cheaper. I know there's other channels that sing the praises of those guys. And, if it's something that I can order, get it home, have it on the shelf, fuel filters, oil filters, stuff for the daily, brake parts, I probably won't keep some of that stuff on the shelf, but at least it's nice to know that it's there. The other issue that's really good about Rock Auto is they have a huge catalog by year for each individual part, and they have what's listed as an economy part, and then they also have like a supreme or a more superior part, and or heavy duty. They have things listed in that way. I like to pay up for the better quality parts, and I can kind of search those out much easier through the Rock Auto website. So I've been trying to, I know it's been a couple weeks since the last video went out. Every Friday you will see a short that comes out every Friday at 7 a.m. I try to do a full video on the weekends, whether it be Saturday at 7 a.m. or Sunday at 7 a.m. I try to get them out on Saturdays, but if the day was long and it took a while and I didn't get to editing, you might see it drop on a Sunday at 7 a.m. But trying to be consistent, trying to keep the algorithms going in my favor through YouTube. And you know, if you're a regular, which I got a lot of you guys, I appreciate everything that you guys, you know, all the guys that are watching these things regularly and leaving comments for me. You know, if you're interested, those are the dates and the times. You know, Fridays at 7 a.m. and hopefully Saturdays at 7 a.m., possibly Sundays at 7 a.m. Try to set it up to where you're drinking your morning coffee and catching up with all your subscription videos, and hopefully I'll be one of them. So thanks again for watching, guys. I sure do appreciate it. You guys have been awesome, and we will be back to our regularly scheduled Tri-5 content soon. Have a good one, guys. Take care.